I got bored in one of my lectures and I decided to create an AI tool which would help me throughout med school. Now, honestly, the problem that I'm solving here is the fact that I was bored. But anyway, in this video, I'm going to be explaining how I would build this idea out, showing you the idea, explaining how I'd market it, and also talking about some of the business fundamentals around it. And I hope this video is useful for anyone who says they want to get into health tech but has no idea where to start. These are just some principles that you can use along the way. And honestly, this is me just messing about. Like, please do not take this seriously. First things first, I think it's always important to start with the problem. Too many people want to build solutions without thinking what problems do they solve. And we saw this with the whole hype of the crypto boys. Like, they were essentially using technology, building solutions, and then looking for problems. When you're looking for a problem to solve, you have to ask yourself two things. Is your problem an actual problem, or is your problem a unserious problem? Another way to look at that is your problem a problem that someone would take painkillers for? Or is your problem something which is solved by vitamins? This is a problem that affects you. You already understand the problem. There's no point in me trying to understand the problems that other people face, because essentially I will never be the subject matter expert in. So I think it's always great to solve your own problems. And then when you're looking for the solution, it's important to look for the solution to the problem and fall in love with the problem that you're solving and not the solution. Too many people get excited and get so attached to the solution that they've built because, of course, it is your baby. But if you're addicted to the problem, then you can continue to iterate and iterate and iterate. An example of this is I'm addicted to the problem of improving healthcare for Black and people of color. And the solution, what this looks like, this was a book in the form of Mind the Gap. This is a website and everything that we're doing. This is a podcast. And these are all different iterations, but solving the same problem. This is a video of the solution that I built. Essentially, you can have this tool in your pocket, and I think it's absolutely amazing. And I even tested it out. I was on the wards earlier today, and I was being asked questions by the consultants and by the doctors. And what I would do is I would type in every question they would ask me into this tool. And essentially, it was spewing out answers so quick, so relevant, giving me sources, giving me Geeky Medics video, giving me a YouTube video so quick. And I think this is better than when a consultant asks you, what is the 25th branch of the facial nerve? And you're going through Google looking for an answer and you just can't find it. But what this does, it searches the internet and gives you the most concise answer possible. So now let's go into how I would market it. So this is essentially the website that I built around it. And I'm going to be explaining everything that goes through my mind when I'm thinking about building out a website and some of the things that I look into. So this is exactly what I would do if I had any idea. I would literally try to go from idea to having something physical as quickly as possible. If you can shorten this gap, then you can produce things as quickly as you can. So we've been creating our MediAssistant, our medical assistant, and I've whipped up this landing page, which will essentially be the place that people come. Imagine this as www.mediassist.com, and you come onto the website, and one of the things that you want to do straight away is this hero text needs to be able to convert. I personally like hero text, which is very much on the edge. So something like med school is boring. Like, try out our AI tool. That's the type of stuff that I like because I think it should evoke an emotion. And I'm a big believer of every single line of the website should be evoking an emotion. If it's not evoking an emotion, we're not working hard enough, clearly. And then we look at this second subheading of text. And this is essentially where I usually explain exactly what it is. For this website, because it's a demo, I haven't thought this through as much as I would usually do, but it's a demo. And then this try it out button, this is a button that you just click, it will take you through to our Media Assistant. And you want this button to be clear as day, because a lot of the time people won't actually know it's a button, or they might completely scroll past it. And the aim is someone should get to this point of the website, and these two pieces of text should be able to convert them to click that button. But if they don't click on that button and they want more information, they should go down. MediAssist speeds up your learning using AI technology, convert that aimless time on the wards into useful revision. They already have more of an idea, then we give them some of the features, such as it knows the UK MLA and the US MLE, and we are speaking directly to our target audience. And if that is not enough, we also have a testimonial from a tired medical student so that they know that this is the platform for them. And one of the things that is so important when you're building any website is having some sort of email list or some way to generate leads, because anyone who signs up to your email list is a warm lead because they are opting in. It's almost like they believe in the vision, they want to know more, they are invested in the journey already. So you have to make sure that you can get as many of these as possible, of course, with GDPR. So this is our website. And I think when you're building out these tools, it's essential to make sure that you have a platform like this. I use Squarespace because it literally is very easy to use for someone who's starting out. They can build a nice looking website. I think we can all say this website does look nice. The only thing that I don't like is this picture here. It doesn't fit with the theme of the website. But you can build a nice looking website in minutes for a relatively low cost. If you're a bit more technical, you could look into using something like Framer, maybe Figma, and then coding out the website. But for the average person, this will easily flow. And I think it's so important to make sure that you are able to produce things that people can see. Because I think once people can see stuff, the vision is easier to be explained. So following on from building a website like this, the next thing that you want to do is buy a domain name. And buying a domain name, if you go on Google and type in buy a domain, it's literally a very simple process. And then you want to connect your domain name to this website. So a domain name, for people who don't know, is essentially what you type in the URL when you're searching a website. So www.google.com is a domain name. And then you want to attach that to your website. These days, it's easier than ever. And if you use a tool like Squarespace, there is literally 60-second clips which will help you connect up your website in no time. Other things to be looking out for when you're building a website is connecting up some sort of analytics platform. So a Google Analytics to your website. That way we can see every single person that comes onto the website, how long they stay on the website, and whether or not they're actually able to use the website. You can set up things such as testing out this button. Does it actually convert? It will give you data such as 10,000 people came to your website today and only 2,000 clicked the button. And from there, you can start to A/B test some of this text. Maybe this text is actually too confusing for people who are on the website and they're not clicking the button. Or maybe you're not attracting the right crowd, hence they're not clicking the button. So connecting a Google Analytics platform is key. From another perspective, when we're talking about marketing, one of the things that we would need to do is to create a TikTok video, a Instagram Reels video. This is so that we can get reach. And when we're creating these TikTok and Instagram videos, we need to know what the purpose of this video is. It needs to be able to just get eyeballs, and that's literally the aim. And from these eyeballs, we'll be then hoping that we can convert people from there. And I think the best performing TikTok videos and the Instagram Reels always evoke some sort of emotion in someone. And I know I've mentioned about emotion so many times, but if you can evoke an emotion in someone, you keep someone watching your video for longer. And if they're watching that video for longer, they're more likely to share that video with someone else because it made them feel some type of way. So this is the video that I ended up creating for the promo material for this.
I'm training to be a doctor, and one thing I don't understand is why do consultants not like teaching medical students? Like, honestly, you spend so long rushing to get to a placement, to get to stand in the corner like this. And then after standing in the corner for so long, you're expected to revise absolutely everything. I decided to create a tool which will allow you to learn medicine faster. It's like having a personal assistant that will answer all of your medical questions. So goodbye to the days of being grilled by the consultant and you don't know the answer. And hello to the days of learning medicine faster.
We need to create this video in like 7 different formats, but essentially saying the same thing. And what we do in this video when we're creating it, we target a different group of people. So we create a video, the story behind the video is something like, are you that tired medical student on the wards who is never able to get an answer from a consultant? Boom, that's one group of people that we've targeted. Then we look at the next group of people. Are you a first year medical student and you've just left A-levels and you do not understand what's going on at medical school? And essentially all of these videos will be talking about the same thing, but because we're targeting a different person each time, that will be able to speak to a specific audience, which is what we want to do. So now let's go into the business case. I know I said at the start with your problem and then work from there. But sometimes I actually think that you need to start with the business case. And this is a lesson that I learned in the health tech space, is that a lot of people are solving problems, a lot of people are building solutions, but there isn't really a business case. And I think especially in healthcare, you need to emphasize the business case a lot more. Simply because the way the healthcare system is designed in the UK is that people only come to the hospital or to a healthcare setting when they have a problem. So by nature, if we create technology to exist in this ecosystem, on a technicality, every single technology is solving a problem. But just because it's solving a problem doesn't mean that somebody's going to pay for it. And now this is where a lot of health tech companies and a lot of people in the health space building companies kind of get it wrong sometimes. This took me years to learn, and I'm going to try to simply explain it. In healthcare, you have different stakeholders. One of the stakeholders is the patient. Another stakeholder is the hospital or the pharmacy or the practice, the institution where people are receiving the healthcare. And then another stakeholder is your payer. So this could be a pharma company, this could be an insurance company, this can be anyone who pays for healthcare essentially. In a public healthcare system like we have in the UK, most people will go to the hospital, so the transaction happens between the patient and the hospital. However, every single time a patient comes to hospital, there is somebody somewhere that pays for something as a result of that transaction. So when we're building our health tech company, when we're building our businesses, we essentially need to build something that the payer would pay for, because that's who our customer is, unless we're going to take the B2C approach. A lot of the time people think that, yeah, I'm going to build something, it's going to solve a problem. And just because it's solving a problem doesn't necessarily mean that the payer has any incentive to essentially pay for that, because the payer is also a business and they have their own business aims. For instance, one of the business aims of the payer might be something like reducing the waiting time in hospital. And if your product or solution does not meet their business aims for the year or for the quarter, then great problem to solve, great technology, but we cannot pay you for that. Another thing that people often do is go B2C, which is business to consumer or direct to consumer. And in this case, would be going directly to patients to solve our problem. In the specific case of MediAssist, the business model that we can take, we can either go directly to medical students and charge them a fee to be able to use MediAssist and to be able to download this onto their phones, onto their apps. And great, this sounds like a plan. However, I know medical students, and medical students, unfortunately, are broke. Or even if they're not broke, medical students do not want to pay for stuff, especially in the UK. So if you have to sell to medical students, you might be limiting your market already. However, what we could also do is go B2B, and this would be selling to a university, for instance, and saying, we can license out our technology for use in your university so that your students can have access to this platform. Some of the challenges that we might face with this is that sometimes universities don't want to pay for things like this because there is a lot of resistance when it comes to new technologies. Also, a sales cycle for a university is really slow. So if you're a startup and you're looking to get money fairly quickly, this is probably going to be a really slow burner. You'll need to get some evidence to prove that your product actually works. If I was building this out personally, I think I would actually go the route which is more direct to medical students and try to hustle hard from a very consumer-facing approach to be able to make sure that medical students pay. Simply because from a B2B perspective, I think it will just take too long. However, when we get the evidence from our B2C perspective, I will be quickly trying to optimize and shift this into a B2B sales channel. Simply because when we are selling B2B, we'll be able to do bigger orders, we'll be able to work quicker, and we'll be able to have less customers. So technically less headaches to deal with. When you are building your health tech solutions, when you are looking to get into healthcare, I think understanding the business of healthcare is so key. And I'm so surprised why people don't teach about the business of healthcare, because the business of healthcare essentially is the thing that determines every other decision in the healthcare space. And if you don't understand how the flow of money is running, then you won't understand why certain decisions are being made. And if you understand the flow of money, you'll be able to position your app in the right place. So this is a video of me just messing around. I was trying to create a tool which was able to be used by me to solve my own problem. And I hope that I have explained to you how you can, 1, figure out a problem, 2, build a solution around it, 3, be able to get some ideas on how to market it, how to create a website, and then 4, be able to understand some of the business case. As I mentioned, I would go B2C. I would probably create some sort of website where students could sign up, integrate this with Stripe or PayPal so that we can process payments and just give access directly to students straight away. And hopefully through this, we'll be able to generate revenue almost from day one. And you'll be surprised how many companies cannot generate revenue from day one. So if there is any ways that you think that I could have improved MediAssist, or you have a better idea on how to do it, drop it below in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this product.